Fun Time with Adam Metwally, the podcast bridging the gap between health, hustle, and happiness. I'm at the beautiful Music for a While studio, and I'm with oral health expert Jonathan Levine, and we're going to get to know him over the next 10 minutes ahead of the full episode later on this week. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello, Adam. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming. So, who are you? What are you best known for? And for somebody who doesn't know you, why should they listen today?
Yeah, well, my tongue-in-cheek answer is I'm best known for the dad of Cody and Julian Levine. But I am known in the industry. I've done a decent amount of TV over the years as America's oral health expert because I lived in a lot of different areas of dentistry and oral health.
What toothpaste do you use and why?
Oh, that's like a loaded question because my son started an oral health company. They quit their jobs and they started this company, said, Dad, we can't believe what you and your team are doing. It was at the foundation mission we have. And we want to start a company all about the power of the smile. And their first product was toothpaste. I used Twice toothpaste, which is good for you. Has vitamins, antioxidants, doesn't have any of these irritants like sodium lauryl sulfate, does have fluoride, potassium nitrate. I think it's a great toothpaste. So I have to say Twice because that's what I use and that's what all of our patients use.
Great. Let's play a little game. What's your best daily oral habit?
Yeah. Well, I must say that the electric toothbrush revolutionized the ability to mechanically remove plaque off the teeth.
Really?
And so I would say as an oral health habit, and it's all about developing these habits, there's a whole host of things you want to do in a row, but at the top of the list is electric brush because it's just much more effective from all the different studies than a manual toothbrush. And using it about 3 times a day does a great job.
I need to get one. I've got a manual bamboo one. It's time to get it.
I got one for you.
I love it.
Absolutely.
What's the worst thing you can do for your teeth?
The mouth is just like the rest of the human body. It's the environment that we put our body into or our mouth into. So when you change that environment to the negative, it's really bad. So all of these things that have sugary drinks, have acid, so any of these very sugary drinks, and I'm not going to name names, but we know what they are, is the worst thing because low pH, in other words, below neutral, below 7.0 is acid. And acid means it's the enamel in the mouth is into a demineralized zone. Once it's over 7, that's health, right? You're right at that neutral. You couple sugar with that, now you have created an environment for the bad bugs to live, demineralizing the teeth and getting the gums inflamed.
What's the weirdest health hack you found?
I think the weirdest one is oil pulling. If people are spending 15 minutes oil pulling, please spend 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night, developing these great oral health habits. I call it the oral health game, like a backhanded tennis. Develop your game, use the right tools, use them in the right order, and it'll take you about 1/4 the time and you will have great results.
Got it. So what is your ideal dental morning and evening routine?
Okay. You start with the electric brush because it's very, very effective. Then you have to get between the teeth because nothing cleans between the teeth unless you get there and you're mechanically removing plaque. So you could use floss, you could use a water flosser, you could use the floss picks, but that's kind of next. And I love the water flosser because it's just so easy to use. And it's amazing at having a water fight with your significant other and, they never expect it. And then after that, you want to raise the pH in the mouth. So there's a rinse called immunity rinse that raises the pH and oxygenates, then tongue scraping. And you have just gone 1, 2, 3, 4 in really developing a great oral health habit. It takes not more than 3 minutes to do all of that. You do it morning and night. You mechanically remove the plaque off your teeth and you've neutralized that pH. pH is so critical because saliva is a buffering agent. And this saliva has to be supported by a great environment. And so all of those things will really help.
Nice. Does it make a difference if you brush before an appointment with the dentist?
Yeah, they'll appreciate it because, the breath is better. You got the food particles out of the mouth. I would say brush, also use a water flosser and take a good rinse. And now you are good
and maybe a shower.
A shower always helps. Yeah, oral hygiene and overall hygiene works well together.
What's the best way to whiten your teeth at home?
Yeah. So whitening is a very interesting category. I've lived in it for close to 20 years.
We'll get into this in a lot more detail later.
So I would say the best home move is, first of all, thinking about our nutrition and our diet. What are we putting in our mouths? Because obviously, these high chromatic foods like coffee, red wine, tea, all these molecules get on the surface of the tooth. So the key is to mechanically remove it. So a great oral hygiene regimen is the most important thing you can do, because even if you have stainy food, you won't accrue that discoloration if you're getting the plaque off your teeth, because the plaque is what the molecules stick to. So back to great oral hygiene regimen, morning and night.
Gotcha. So what's the biggest dental myth you can debunk in 10 seconds?
Oh, geez. There's so many, but at the top of my list. Can I give you two?
Go for it.
All right, the two I'm going to give you.
A little bonus.
The top two is these people that are so-called experts on social media talking about root canals don't work. Oh my God, these poor people who listen to this nonsense. Root canals work when they're done properly, when they're three-dimensionally filled, and they're filled with inert materials, and the end of that apex of the root, that the nerve died and the body thinks it's a foreign invader, now gets sealed. They work under the right conditions. A specialist with a microscope working meticulously. They work. Number one. Number two is fluoride. With all due respect to everybody on this conversation, fluoride is just like any other chemical, any other pharmacological agent. It's all about the doses, how much you have. The regimen is 1 part per million in toothpaste. Now, 1 part per million is not a lot, and we say pea-size amount. So these are decades and decades of studies. There's an organization called the Cochrane Reports. The Cochrane Report looks at thousands of research articles. This has been documented so well. So if anybody asks, well, why isn't the American Dental Association standing up? They're standing up because fluoride works. It's a decrease at least 25% of decay rate. And people who don't have access to care, you take water, fluoride out of that water system, those people are going to get hurt the most because they don't have the opportunity to get fluoride treatments and to really have great home care. So it's the fluoride in the water that's actually protecting them to a degree from decay. And of course, for everybody else who does have access to care, you can absolutely have fluoride in your toothpaste. If you want to filter your water, because you don't want to have in your water, then filter your water, but it's safe.
Okay, we'll dig into that a lot more.
That was a little bit more than 10 seconds.
No, it's fine. We'll dig into that a lot more in the full episode. I'm really keen to explore that more. So what's a book you'd be happy to give to 100 people in your life in relation to oral health?
I gotta go with James Nestor's book, Breathe. James Nestor did an amazing book a number of years ago, and it created such awareness that people now have that the connection of the mouth and the body, and how important it is that the dental professionals understand this connection. They study it in their schools. They become aware of airway and sleep. And the
mouth tape
and young parents understanding what the developing children need to go through and what they shouldn't do, and we can go into this in intimate detail, but 100%, I have to go with Nestor's book.
Nice. What's a purchase you've made that's improved your life 100 times more than its cost in relation to your oral hygiene?
I gotta go with the electric toothbrush. I can go electric toothbrush, or I can go water flosser, because I'm a big lover of those two. But I literally go either one. And we have a kit now that we bundle them together and we give them to our patients with a great electric brush and a great water flosser.
Nice. What's one daily practice you swear by, even if people think you're crazy?
A daily practice. Yes.
Anything.
Well, my routine is one where, we understand these pillars of longevity, right? Here I am getting up there in years, and I start my day so that I can start it with a lot of high energy. And so I'm always doing my routine, which is meditation, it's breath work, and then I'm a cyclist. I get on my bike and I work out, and I feel great. I could hit the day. And so, as Brandon Bouchard would say, high performance habits, and I'm a big believer of that.
Who's the most famous person's contact you have, and how did you get it?
Well, famous word. I've been very blessed. I have patients who are, I guess, fall into a lot of those categories. And we built it, we say overnight success in 35 years. But a well-known person who's a dear, like a brother to me, is my foundation partner, Lenny Kravitz. And Lenny's we've become very close, and we're very much all about helping people. As he would say, charity begins at home. And we first started in Eleuthera, We've gone to other areas, but we have a 14-chair freestanding clinic on the island of Eleuthera. People come from all over the Bahamas, and we're there a number of times a year and building that out. So we have a very blessed relationship. So I would say he's numero uno.
Nice. What's the strangest compliment you've ever received?
Strangest. Well, I guess the strangest compliment that I've gotten is someone I might look like. So, as I said, a fellow Aussie, when somebody would say to me, "God, you look just like Hugh Jackman," I take it as such a compliment. So that's a strange.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see it. And my last question for you is, what is the craziest story you've been a part of that makes you go, wait, what, that happened?
I had a crazy experience once with, I won't mention too many names, but I had a dinner with some people, with friends, with a famous singer named Bono, and Madonna walks in, and it was the craziest night I've ever had with my wife and these friends. So that was a pretty crazy night. I don't really talk about it too much because I don't want anybody throwing a tomato at my head, but it was pretty.
Why would anyone throw a tomato at your head?
I was like, "You're not telling me that story, Levine. Pinch yourself." And yeah, I pinched myself.
What happened?
No, I was just one of these folks who are a dear friend and well known, and had him. "Would you like to join us for dinner?" "Yeah." "Who's coming over?" "Yep, that's who's coming over." And then Madonna was renting a house across the street, and she came over about, I don't know, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock at night. And it was one of those nights that everybody was hanging out together. And it was like the most famous people I've ever been. It was crazy.
What happens from an experience like that? Does it lead to anything? Or is it just like a fun night that you just end up going, all right, well, put that in the books and then never think about it again, or never follow up again?
Yeah. What was really cool, and Bono's such a special human being, and he did invite us to go on a plane and join him in his next concert, which was going like 2 days later. I think it was up in Canada or something, but we couldn't do it. I should have canceled anything and everything. Yeah. It shows my dedication. But the close thing I got is I watched him at the Sphere in Vegas, and I was watching him and his amazing band. But it was one of those one-offs.
I love it.
Yeah.
With or Without You by U2, Don't Tell Him This was the first song I ever pirated.
Why not?
When I was like 12 years old.
I mean, come on.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
Cool.